Machines? Well, as impossible as it may seem, there's evidence that our world could also be programmed like The Matrix. From inconsistencies in reality to glitches that look like something taken from a computer program, today we'll show you some glitches in The Matrix caught on camera and spotted in real life. Watch the video until the end to find out. But before we begin, make sure you hit the subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Invisible wall effect. Science states that for one body to move, another must exert force on it. However, there are times when this law doesn't work. The following video compilation we'll show you next is proof of this. As you can see in the images, a group of cars moving through the city streets are suddenly hit by a non-existent body. There are no other cars or buses that could have caused that impact. And yet, the magnitude of the accident is powerful, as if an invisible wall had suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. You're probably wondering how that's possible. Well, we're sorry to tell you that we don't have a logical explanation either. The only answer that seems to solve people's questions is related to glitches in reality. It turns out that just like in video games, our universe also suffers alterations that aren't detected by the human eye. From the ground beneath our feet to the walls around us. That's why these drivers weren't able to prevent the disaster. What do you think? Raven frozen in the sky. The next video we'll show you is as strange as it is incredible. And no, it's not a montage or a dramatization made by a group of students. It turns out that, as if it were an alternate universe, a crow remained completely frozen while it's flying over the streets of a city. Just like you heard it. The event took place in India on a hot summer afternoon. As you can see, bystanders took out their cell phones to record. Only one man decided to approach and help the defenseless animal. But since the distance between them was so big, he had to get on top of a car to reach the bird with a broom. The crow immediately reacted and continued its flight. However, what happened didn't stop showing up on everyone's minds. How could a bird stay in the air like that? Although many tried to answer this question, none of them managed to satisfy the curiosity of the hundreds of spectators, nor the million people who watched the video after it was posted online. What do you think? Is this the proof that we live in a simulation? Illusion in the game. Sometimes our eyesight isn't as powerful as we think. In fact, every day we're victims of illusions that alter our senses. But do you think they're powerful enough to make us imagine a person? This video was captured during a Major League Baseball game. And while everything seems in order at first, you should pay attention to what happens when the batter hits the ball and a member of the opposing team tries to catch it. When the player jumps over the fence to get that last out, a guard was walking nearby. If you're a good observer, you probably noticed him in the first shot, right? After all, he was very close to the player. But as it turns out, when that same scene was shot from another angle, the guard was no longer visible. If you don't believe us, we'll show you. Now, did you get to see him? The player fell behind the fence in a failed attempt to catch the ball. However, the guard wasn't there. Was it an illusion created by the effect of the light in the camera? Whatever the answer, we're sure that our world is more mysterious than it appears. Selective rainfall. One of the most common glitches in reality appears when it rains. Have you ever wondered why it sometimes only rains in one area of the city? Yeah, it sounds really crazy. Storms are supposed to hit entire regions. But although this phenomenon seems simple to explain, a video recorded by a group of tourists in Italy proved the opposite. As you can see in this footage, it was only raining on a square meter of the road, just like you heard it. Both drivers and passerbys were astonished when they stopped on the side of the road. They even looked up to the sky to see where the strange cloud was. However, since it was night, they couldn't see anything but the intense rain hitting the ground in that little sector. After the video went viral on the internet, there was no shortage of people willing to give their opinion. But while one group tried to explain this mysterious phenomenon, others claimed it was a reality glitch, just like it happens in video games. What do you think? Tunnel of Death. The following video isn't recommended for cardiac patients, so if you can't take strong emotions, this content is not for you. However, we're sure you will be surprised. This tape was captured through one of the surveillance cameras of a tunnel in the Lefortovo district, Russia. As you can see in the images, some cars were driving through the tunnel in a row. It's no big deal. However, chaos broke out when a truck crashed into another car that mysteriously appeared in front of it. Don't you believe us? Just pay attention to this footage and you'll notice that the other truck actually appeared out of nowhere. The strangest thing is that it came from another direction, and it looked exactly like the first truck. Did you notice? Many comments have been made since it was first posted, but to this day, no one has a clear explanation for what happened. Some think it may have been an effect that created the illusion of the car appearing out of nowhere. However, we question this theory. What do you think? Same movements. The world we live in is a simulation. At least that's what many theorists claim. But if this hypothesis still doesn't convince you, let us show you the following video. It all started when two men were standing in front of a supermarket shelf. It doesn't seem strange at all. People do it. After all, no one wants to pick the wrong ingredient for a special dinner. To check the prices is also really important. Having to return some groceries for not having enough money is something that would certainly bother people. However, the situation got strange when both men decided to move at the same time. And not only that, but they did it using the same arm. Amazing, isn't it? Apparently, they felt the need to scratch in the same part of their bodies, something we definitely don't see every day. The video immediately went viral, but although many believed it was just a coincidence, this type of event doesn't happen very often, much less the way they did it, very naturally. Are we really going to be the victims of a powerful simulation? The frozen dog? If you like to play video games, you probably have suffered on more than one occasion the consequences of a program malfunction. Your avatar may remain static, and no matter how hard you try to press the buttons, it just won't move. Well, as impossible as it may seem, this kind of glitch also occurs in reality, just as you heard it. We haven't gone mad, and this next video we'll show you is proof of that. It turns out that when a man was walking around his house, he noticed that his dog was completely static in one of the hallways. Although he didn't mind at first, eventually he started to get frightened by his pet's strange attitude. So he took his camera and went back to the front hallway. To his amazement, he captured the way the dog remained still, not making a single move, like frozen in its own universe. Scary, don't you think? Fortunately, the dog finally reacted by receiving caresses from its owner. But to this day, people are wondering if it isn't evidence that our world is just an illusion, a program created by a superior being that sometimes has glitches like this. What do you think? Airplane and pause. Did you think that animals are the only beings that could remain frozen in time? If so, we're sorry to say you're wrong. How can we be so sure of that? Well, a long time ago, a man was able to catch on camera a strange plane in the sky. Just as if it had been paused in the middle of the air, it was completely motionless. Yep, you heard right. It turns out that this person was back from a long and well-deserved vacation. However, he did not expect to find that frightening phenomenon right in front of his eyes. Was it just an illusion? Apparently, it wasn't. Although the man was inside a moving car, he was astonished when he saw the plane was actually immobile in the middle of the sky. Just like when we pause our favorite video games because we need to go to the bathroom. This footage went viral in a short time. But while some tried to explain the strange phenomenon, many believed it was a glitch in reality. What do you think? We hope that when your next vacation arrives, you don't want to take a plane trip. A mistake like this might cost you a lot of time. You don't want to stay in the air for hours when you could be enjoying the sea. Real-life video games. If you're still not convinced that our world is the result of a great simulation, you have to watch the next video. In it, you can see a group of basketball players in the middle of an intense game. The crowd was so entertained watching the moves of each player that they missed a rather peculiar event. If you don't believe us, feel free to repeat the video. It turns out that when one of the visiting team members took the ball, all his teammates started running in the same direction at the same time. Yeah, it may not seem like a fascinating thing, but if you have a keen eye, you may have noticed that even the way they move on the court and the position of their hands is the same. Now do you see it? You surely did not expect that. When this video was posted on the internet, everyone was surprised. Even the team member said nothing was planned. What do you think now? Whether we live in a programmed universe or not, that's your decision to make. Antivirus dogs. All computer programs have glitches. Some of them turn out to be the result of malicious viruses that seek to attack our information. However, even though it may seem like something out of a sci-fi movie, this can also happen in reality. This next video is proof of that. This event was recorded in Turkey by a security camera. As you can see, a group of stray dogs that were walking around the area began to attack a car without mercy. Not only did they destroy the bumper, but they also dismantled much of the vehicle's front bodywork. If you're wondering why, the answer seems pretty simple. It turns out that, as if it were some kind of computer program, the vehicle was having reality glitches that only the dogs were able to notice. And like a powerful antivirus, they decided to attack this malware from the root. But did they succeed? According to official sources, the camera stopped recording minutes after the attack. The next morning, when they tried to locate the car, it was gone. What do you think? Do you think our world is really the result of good programming? Hope you enjoyed the video, Top 5ers. If you haven't already, check out our other channel, Americano, to enjoy even more amazing list videos. There will be a link in the description, so check it out as well as our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.